right, on the road to redemption or St. Patrick's Day, they are not the same thing, I can assure you of that. Dr. Steve Turley joining me now, internationally recognized scholar, speaker, and just an overall hell of a good guy. Turley, welcome back to the program.
Stephen, always a pleasure to be with you.
Glad to have you. So, I just want to mention Doug Ford for a minute here, the premier of Ontario, who, as my grandmother would have said, got too big for his britches. Yeah, he got too big for his, well, he got too big for a lot of people's britches. He's been to the buffet a little too often.
Yeah, well, his brother you was too, that's for sure.
Yeah, his brother, who's no longer with us, went to the buffet
Right.
a little too often too. Anyhow, he threatens, we're going to cut off electricity to America. We'll show Donald Trump. And we're here in Michigan going, we don't get any electricity from Ontario. We're surrounded by Ontario. We get no electricity from less than 1%. New York said the same thing. It's like, we don't get anything from Ontario. And all of a sudden, he's like, well, yeah, but you can't have it anyway. It's like, so weird. I mean, if you're going to make a threat,
Yeah.
right? And then Donald Trump comes back and says, tell you what we'll do. We'll give you 50% tariffs on aluminum and steel. And he was like, okay.
Well, it's such an unwinnable war. 75% of Canada's exports go to the United States. 75%. That's nearly 20% of their GDP. For Mexico, it's even worse. 80% of their exports come to the United States. It's 40% of their GDP. For America, our exports to both Canada and Mexico combined, 3%.
Right.
3% of our
Well
exports.
done.
It's an unwinnable war. They have no leverage.
But you look at the tariffs that the Canadians put on cheese, butter, milk, soy, all those things, right?
Yeah.
Are hundreds of percentage, like 200, 250, 300%. And they're complaining about what we do. So I was listening to Kevin O'Leary just before I went on this morning, right? Mr.
Yeah, I saw
Wonderful.
that.
He's a Canadian, right? He said, look, don't focus on the noise, focus on the signal that Trump puts out. He said, here's what Trump's planning to do and what he's positioning for is for an economic relationship between Canada and Mexico, Canada and the United States, of which there are no tariffs, and we become the most powerful economy in the world for which the Chinese can never catch up. Now that's brilliant.
Yeah, because we have the biggest market in the world, and they have the most resources in the world. And so you combine that too with the industrial strength of both the United States and Canada having returned to industrial strength after decades of globalization. Oh my, I mean, exactly. And Trump is thinking in civilizationalist terms here. That's what the whole thing with Greenland is all about. He's thinking this whole northern hemisphere becoming, literally the Gulf of America, becoming America first. And the thing with him, because
look,
it's
great.
great. Exactly.
Turley, you probably saw the election returns from Greenland.
Yeah.
They went from 2/3 socialist leftist in the last election to 55% right, center right, or far right. I mean, look, Trump just won yesterday in Greenland because the people that want investment. They want a relationship with America far bigger than they currently have, right?
Yeah, there's going to be independence from Denmark in the very near future. Yeah, I mean, so the party that wanted independence right now got the second most amount of votes. The party that said, yeah, we'll do independence, but it's going to be a slow walk, they got the first. So exactly, you're talking 70% or so majority, super majority, want independence from Denmark, and then I think they're just going to be the next Texas. That's how I heard one person put it. They're just going to have their independence. They're going to be their own republic, but then they're going to realize we should hook up with the states.
Think about this. Less than 60,000 people. They've got rare earth. They've got minerals. They've got metals. They've got resources that are unimaginable. If you live in Alaska, you get $1,800 a year last time I checked for the permanent fund. The money being handed out in Greenland going forward is going to be multiples of that. These 60,000 people are going to be wealthy individuals because of the needs of both the United States and Canada. See how this all comes together? It's a big old triangulation, right?
Exactly right. And then, and the development in Russia right now is, of course, in the Arctic. And then they're looking at trade routes to develop around there and then having military presence around those trade routes. Trump sees that. He sees the world as turning civilizationalist. China, Russia, India, Turkey. It's time for America to take its place. Stop with this nonsense of globalism and this one-size-fits-all multilateral trade deals through the IMF and the WTO. Forget that. We're going to be a world within the world. We are our own self-enclosed world, the biggest economy in the world, and we're all about America first in this massive hemisphere. And we're trying to incorporate as much Greenland and Canada into that, however that arrangement works out.
And by the way, there will be American flags on either end of the Panama Canal too. Bet your ass on that. Isn't it funny, though, Turley, that I keep seeing these posts from Democrats? All of these Trump supporters have buyer's remorse. No, we don't. This is exactly what we voted for.
No.
When I see Trudeau fold, when I see Fat Ford fold, when I see every one of these people, one after another fold and give in, whether it's Scheinbaum in Mexico or the former Prime Minister of Canada, Trudeau in Canada, look. Trump keeps winning. He is a strong American leader who believes in America first. It's exactly what I voted for.
Exactly. And these are the exact same voices that were telling us that we were going to see a Kamala presidency. I mean, it's just ridiculous. They're just gaslighters. They're liars. All you have to do is look at the right track, wrong track polling. The latest one from Quantum Insights, 50% of the country believes we as a nation are finally on the right track. That's a 20-point swing from the Biden era. Mark Mitchell, from Rasmussen.
Love him, friend of mine.
Pointed out, he's pointed out for the first time in 20 years of polling, right track exceeds wrong track in their daily polling. And then, of course, you have the voter registration advantage. In virtually every single state, Republicans have amassed a significant net voter registration advantage over Democrats, and voter registration is the single most accurate predictor for election outcomes. So no, like you said, that's all noise. There's no signal there. That's for sure.
Well, that's right. So here's the point that I'm getting at next is that it's crazy. Midterms are just a little bit over a year away. Right now, we're going to see if the Democrats shut down the government. I don't care if they do or don't. If they do, they're going to pay a price for it politically. And if they don't, well, then Trump gets everything he wants. Either way, Trump gets everything he wants.
Win-win.
Either way, Trump gets everything he wants. And that's what America voted for. But if the Democrats continue to put out, I'll let you be the last word, Jasmine Crockett, voice of the Democrats. If that continues, Turley, they will get clubbed like a baby seal in the midterms, won't they?
It will be an extension of the speech to the joint session of Congress where they sat there with their paddles and the entire world saw how petulant and pathetic they've become. And she would be the embodiment of that pathetic petulance in perpetuity. I'm getting all my P's out this morning.
Dr. Steve Turley, always appreciate talking to you, sir. Keep your finger on the pulse. Look, it's what I voted for.
So.
There is no buyer's remorse. There's rejoicing, but not remorse. I'll tell you that, Turley. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Stephen. It's an honor.
All right. There you have it. Always good to have Turley here. And then Ivy is around the corner. I mean, I'm living right. I'm just coming through with an inside straight at this point. Ivy, straight ahead. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and TikTok and make sure it's the right TikTok account. At Steve Gruber Show, no underscore. There's a cheat out there that got about 20,000 followers or something, stealing you away from me. I'll not have it. I'll have Ivy after the break.